I'm gonna show you how to get what you want. More specifically, I'm gonna help you remember what it took to get what you wanted so you can get it today. Let's switch things up a little bit. I want you to think about your younger days. Maybe you were in your 20s, maybe your teenage years, and maybe even just right before your teenage years. I want you to remember when there was something you wanted so badly that you wouldn't let anything get in the way of you getting it. For example, I started thinking back when I was about 12 years old. It was the summer of my 12th year, and I wanted this bike. Schwinn made it, and it was called the Gray Ghost. It had a big back tire and a little front tire with a fork. It had shock absorbers on the back. It's really embarrassing looking back on this, but I wanted that Gray Ghost, and I wouldn't let anything stop me from getting it. So I had to figure out how much it cost. Once I knew how much it cost, I started writing down, what can I do to get that money? I can tell you that I went around and brought my lawnmower around the neighborhood, and I would knock on doors and literally cut their front yard for money. I was selling fudge. I was making fudge for my grandfather in a business he owned, and I started making fudge and going around and knocking on doors and selling fudge. There was nothing that was gonna stop me from getting that. But if you look at it really, I could have lost interest in it and found another bike that was cheaper. I could have just not wanted a bike at all. I could have allowed other things to get in the way and reduce my focus on the Gray Ghost, but I didn't. I could have not had the support from my family that I had. Thinking back on it, that wasn't my lawnmower. It wasn't my gas I was putting in the lawnmower. I really wasn't going out and buying the ingredients for fudge and then walking around. I was doing the work, but I had a lot of support from my family. And back then, I had zero debt. I had nothing really to worry about. If I made a couple of bucks in the summer, great. If I got my Gray Ghost, wonderful. As you're looking back, you may have had to do a paper route. You may have had to cut grass. You may have had to babysit or something like that. But I can just about guarantee you that when you wanted something and you focused on it and you listed out what it took to get it, you never let anything get in your way. And I bet you have a story just like mine. Now I want you to think about your business. You could think about your life, but I want you to think about something you want in your business. I want you to envision what your business can be, and I want you to apply the exact same rules. List out what it's gonna take to get there. Try to focus on that one thing as much as you can. I know it's a different time in your life, and we do have debt, we do have other things that are gonna divide our attention, but to be focused as we can on that one thing is critical. And then look around you for all the support you have. You may not think you have much, but between your employees and the leaders on your team, your family, you have more support than you think. So share those goals, those dreams, and that vision with the people around you, and ask them to participate. Ask them to contribute to your vision. And then here's the critical piece. You gotta have that attitude, like when you were a kid, that I will not let anything get in the way of me getting what I want. Attitude is crazy important. And when you're looking for something you want and you know it's gonna be a challenge to go get it, you gotta have that never say die. I'm not gonna let anything get in the way of me getting this. So as you know, I often end my videos with, as you grow, your company grows, keep growing. I want to get a little more specific. When I say you, I mean you may be the owner of the company. You may be one of the leaders of the company. You might be a manager, you might be an employee. But here's the thing, when you grow, your company grows. Keep growing.